Arisha from Nom Tour Tracker.
Nom Tour Tracker, very good.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good rally today. It seems like, would you call this your biggest attendance yet, or?
I don't know. We had a good turnout in New Hampshire and also Maine. It might not have been reported that way, but we had a good turnout. But this was, I think there were nearly, probably 200 people here.
I jumped on the tour in Providence, so I thought that was a pretty big turnout, but I wasn't sure which one was.
No, this was great turnout.
Yeah. So you're back? Are you happy to be back on tour? Did you have a nice vacation?
I did.
Yeah. It seems like we're doing a lot of back-to-back stops here. You got us driving a lot.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm curious to know, we interviewed one of your rally attendees at the last stop I think we were at, right? And he actually had, a sign that said the solution to the homosexual problem is lynching. Do you agree with that?
Of course not. But we still haven't heard anything from the major gay supporters of same-sex marriage as far as repudiating what happened in Providence or Albany, and we're waiting for that.
It seems like you guys are still focusing on Providence, and that was so 2 weeks ago.
Well, we still had, again, I don't blame this on the leader. Again, there's just one person, I guess, doing this, and I had a great conversation with the lady that put the opposition group together, and she was very civil, and she basically said that they wouldn't have anything like that here, and there wasn't. But there was one person who ran up onto the front of the stage and wrote obscenities, and also wrote "We Recruit" in front of a little child.
What do you think he meant by "We Recruit"?
I have no idea. It seems an odd thing to write to get your point across.
That's a famous quote.
Well, the fact is, putting it right in front of a child, not acceptable. Not acceptable.
Think he was trying to recruit him to that child to become gay?
Well, do you see what they wrote right there?
We got it. We're going to put it up.
Okay. So that's acceptable with a bunch of young children around?
I'm asking you what it sort of meant to you.
It meant, again, a basic disrespect for civility. That's what it meant to me.
So do you think this person who wrote "Re-Recruit" is sort of a fringe element in the same way that Larry Brown with the lynching sign was a fringe element?
At this particular event, because the leadership from the beginning here said that they wouldn't accept that sort of behavior. But again, we haven't heard anything from the head of Queer Action Rhode Island saying that there was something wrong with people storming our stage, telling young children they were going to kidnap them. This is not acceptable behavior, period.
If you had to compare the lynching sign to the anecdotal...
We have video.
Do you have video of the person actually saying, "I want to kidnap your kids"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Do you think that they were joking, or in what context?
It's pretty frightening to a young child to hear that from anyone. I know the kids were crying.
But
look. The fact is, we have many people that come to our rallies. Many of them don't know anything about the National Organization for Marriage.
Well, because nooses really make me uncomfortable.
Well, they make me uncomfortable too, and for obvious reasons. Given how closely I work with Bishop Jackson and Kojic and a lot of the African American community in California, it's completely unacceptable. And again, we said from the beginning it's totally unacceptable. When is the leadership of the same-sex marriage movement going to do the same about the attacks on our First Amendment rights?
And what about, again, throwing us out of the
well, again, I already spoke to you about that. If any reporter attempts to interrupt, attempts to harass, it will not let us do our jobs here. We have permits for these events. I'm willing to speak to you. I'm speaking to you right now. I have absolutely no reason not to talk to you.
So what was it about Annapolis that so upset you?
Well, it didn't upset me. It wasn't upsetting at all. We had one of your videographers refusing to give us space to work, getting right in our faces and not being civil. We're not going to put up with it. We have to be able to get the rally together. We have to be able to do our work, trying to film me while I'm working on my handheld, and when I turn around, doing the same thing. It's just not acceptable. If we have basic rules of civility...
Did you type slower because he was filming you, or how was it impeding you exactly?
Well, no, that was one example of many.
Did you have to walk around him at one point, maybe an extra foot?
No, he was not. It wasn't that at all. He was recording private conversations of individuals. He was getting right up in their faces for people that didn't necessarily even work with the National Organization for Marriage. He was being uncivil by not, following basic rules of decorum. When someone asks you politely that you need to work and they're getting right in your face and refusing to listen, it's not acceptable. The press don't behave like that. So you have to follow basic rules of civility when you're attempting to say you represent the press, and he wasn't doing that.
I thought we were following basic rules of the First Amendment, which seems important to you. But...
Well, the First Amendment allows us to hold a rally and not have people harass or intimidate us during the middle of the rally. So that's part of the First Amendment. This is clear. We wouldn't do the same thing. Well, no, I been through a lot more than this. I don't
Like
feel intimidated. Well, Providence wasn't the first time that we've had people attempt to silence us. Death threats. These are all in various lawsuits that we're involved in right now, as far as the declarations in the Protect Marriage case, the fact that we have individually received threats, our families have received threats, and donors have received threats. So look, everyone has to stand together, even though we may disagree on this issue, on basic human dignity. And if someone is calling a leader of the same-sex marriage movement and threatening them, I would condemn it immediately. I don't see what the big problem is with supporters of same-sex marriage for doing the same.
So you would call that a fringe element, though?
Well, look, there was a lot of encouragement to what happened in the wake of Proposition 8 by leaders. So to say that's a fringe element is
I'm talking about
absolutely.
your side.
What is a fringe element?
The Larry Browns. Who
I don't consider anyone with a sign like that on our side.
So, but he would say he's on.
Well, I never.
He's an ex-gay. He came to the rally. He was really
Okay,
excited
well,
about you guys
regardless of
being
what
there.
he says, anyone can listen to any of the talks that we've made, and we condemn hatred of any kind, period.
Yeah.
And we will do it equally for those who, say that they support traditional marriage. That's not a part of our movement. And again, I think it's absurd to say that one person with a sign somehow represents us when everything that we've said opposes that. And again, we immediately repudiated it. Again, unlike supporters of same-sex marriage.
On the stage, who said that America was becoming a country of bastards, a nation of bastards.
Well, I didn't actually hear exactly what he said.
He
but-
said that America is becoming a nation of bastards.
I don't know what he meant. But I
Would you agree with that statement,
No.
though?
He quoted another researcher that said that. He didn't say that. He quoted a researcher that said that.
Okay. But do you agree with that statement that he quoted? That
No.
he seemed to.
Well, what a researcher said, is what a researcher said. I didn't even hear what he said, so I had to go back and look at his speech. But again, the game is up as far as the fact that there's been over a week now since Providence. Not a single major group has come out to repudiate or condemn it. The fact is that if you stand by that, then you stand by that. We know where the hatred is coming from. We know where the intolerance is coming from. And it's coming from supporters of same-sex marriage. I didn't see a single person at this rally do anything untoward to opponents.
I observed one of your supporters approach some small children with an apparent magic trip, despite the fact that their mother was clearly saying no.
I didn't see anything like that. But again, anything like that, if there was any sort of intimidation or harassment, we would condemn it. And we've always done that. So again,
So you would condemn the man that was handing out the Ten Commandments to children?
no, he has a right to hand out the Ten Commandments. It's a lot different than screaming and saying, "I'm going to kidnap you."
Is it different than, if you have children, I've seen them around. If you were to say
If someone
to me,
handed,
if you were to say to someone, "Don't come near my children. I don't want you to touch my children," you want them to move.
You're making so many false analogies, I don't even know where to begin. That's a totally false analogy. Someone handing the Ten Commandments out to someone is quite different than saying, hello, you know that your mommy and daddy are bigots and they're raising you to be a bigot, and I can kidnap you?
You haven't even heard the entire context of what happened. I'm telling you that this person approached these children, the children were sitting together with their mother to the side of them, sat down with them, began talking to them, a complete stranger, tapped one of them on the shoulder and said, "Hey, do you want to see a magic trick? Hey, do you want to see a magic trick?"
Again, I mean, I don't know all the particulars of it, but people have the right to pass out Bibles and tracts. I mean, that's, again, it's been litigated all over the place.
Would you like me to go up to one of your children with some of the literature that I might have in my backpack?
Well, if you have literature that talks about mommy and daddy being bigots, then of course not. Or if you have literature that says, watch out, we might kidnap you, then of course not. You're again trying to make an apple and oranges argument. Going up to someone and saying that you're going to kidnap them is not the same as handing out the Ten Commandments. And the American people understand the difference.
Okay, so it's not that I said that I was going to give something that said, I'm going to kidnap you, but what if I give a nice piece of literature with a loving gay couple on it?
Well,
and said, here.
Again, I mean, if the parents have, I don't know the situation.
With the quote, "Love thy
You're
neighbor"
asking
on
me
it.
you're asking me to speak about a situation I don't know anything
Yeah, I'm
about.
asking you to talk about a hypothetical situation.
Well, again, all I can say is if the parents had said not to do that, then you need to respect the parents. So, I mean, again, I'm not. I'm
so
always
he was a
speaking
fringe
out.
element too, probably.
The whole fringe element thing is something that you're bringing up, not me. You're not a part of our movement if you espouse hatred. Period.
Thank you so much.
Thank